सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Let's read the invocation shloka, the Mangalacharanam. I will read and then you follow. Tapo bhikshina papanam,
Tapo bhikshina papanam,
shantanam vitaraginam,
shantanam vitaraginam,
mumukshunam apekshoyam,
mumukshunam apekshoyam,
AtmaBodho vidhiyate.
AtmaBodho vidhiyate.
Now we will read from verses 5 to 8, which we covered last time. So page 19. We can read together. Ajnana-kalusham jivan jnana-bhyasad-vinirmalam kritva jnanam swayam nashet jalam katakarenuvat samsara-swapnatulyo hi ragadveshai sankulava swakale satyavadbhati prabodhe satyasadbhave tavat satyam jagadbhati shuktikarajatam yatha yamananyayate brahma sarvadhishthanamadvayam upadane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargasthitilayan yanti budbudani varini. Okay. So what did we cover last time? So last time, in verse number 5, what is the comparison? Having self-knowledge that Brahmakara vritti disappears, just like that Katakarenu disappears in water. So what does this mean? See, a question comes that when you have knowledge, you have the thought that you are Brahman. So when you have the thought that you are Brahman, how can you be Brahman? It's like there's duality. You have the thought that you're Brahman and then there's Brahman. So how is it Advaita? It is Advaita because that very thought that I am Brahman eventually dissolves and it becomes part and parcel of you. So for a Brahma Jnani, that thought becomes part and parcel of them. So they don't have to keep thinking, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. It's very natural. So that's why the minute that it becomes their nature, then they're free. It doesn't matter if their body passes in the street, or it doesn't matter if it's in a holy river, or it doesn't matter if it's in some desert far away. Wherever it is, they are already free. So there is no question of having duality, and there's no question of having to sustain this Aham Brahmasmi thought all the time. It's so natural, just like I'm a man or I'm a woman, you don't have to think it. It's very natural. So like that, this knowledge is natural to them. So how do I know when I've mastered something, anything in life, when it's natural to me? Then I know I have mastered it. Then, in verse number 6, what did we see? We saw that samsara swapna tulya is like a dream. Raga dvesha adisankulaha. It's full of raga and dvesha. In its own time, it feels so real. When you're dreaming, it feels incredibly real. But prabodhe sati, when you wake up, asat bhavet. It's unreal. Right? So dream is a state wherein that one becomes many. You become many in your dream. You become the one who's dreaming. You become the dream objects. You become the dream experience. You become the whole part and parcel. Essentially, you're a creature in your dream. But what happens when you wake up? You are the creator of your dream. Everything dissolves into one, right? That whole dream dissolves into the waker's mind. That many dissolves into one. So imagine, from becoming a creature of your dream, you're a creator of your dream. So in your dream, it feels so real. It feels like, yes, this is real. But when you wake up, it's very different. So the waking world is also a dream. Why? Because just as dream is anitya, it's impermanent, waking state is also impermanent. The problem with us is we feel like we are the waking identity. We forget that there's a dreamer I. We forget that there's a deep sleeper I. And more so, we even forget that we're the I that lasts towards waking, dream, and deep sleep. So, waking is also a dream. So, the goal of spiritual practice is not to just wake up from dream, but wake up from waking also. It is also seen. It is also impermanent. And itself gets negated in dream. In dream, there's no waking. And yet we think this world is so incredibly, incredibly real. But you dream and the world is gone. You're asleep and the world is gone. So in this shloka, it talks about how samsara is like that only. In shloka number 7, how long will this world feel real? Yatha tavat satyam jagat bhati. The world will feel very, very real until and unless we uncover its substratum. Yatha shuktika rajatam. Like how when you have that silver shining on that mother of pearl, as long as my eyes, my attention are focused on that silver, I'll forget about the shell. But when I come to the substratum of the world, then I know that that silver is just an appearance. Illusion means what? Illusion in Vedanta means that it is dependent on a substratum. Its real nature is a substratum. When you uncover it, you see that there's something else there. So the world will appear real until and unless I uncover its substratum. Once I know its substratum, Brahma, which is Advaya, non-dual, then I understand that that's the only thing there is. You see, It's a journey that we have to take. You know, when we go to class or when we try to say what Hindu religion is, some people will say that is it polytheistic or is it monotheistic? Actually, it's neither. The essence of Sanatana Dharma is it's monist. It's not that we have one God, it's that God is all. There's nothing else but God. There's nothing else but Brahman. So that's a deeper understanding. So eventually a seeker has to move to that. It's not that there's one God. It means that there is only God. Everything is just an appearance on that substratum. Because it's Advaya. It's non-dual. And we saw the faults if we were to take the world as real. Right? Then that Atma or Brahman wouldn't be infinite. If the world was real, they would limit Brahman. And if the world was infinite, then Bhagavan would be lying. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Maya tatam idam sarvam. By me, this whole world is pervaded. Matsthani sarva bhutani. They are all in me. Nachaham teshu avastita. But I am not in them. Which means they're all superimposed in me, but I am not affected by them. And if we take the world to be real, then it would be apramanika, against our Shruti. Because our Shruti says the only thing that's real is Brahman. When we explore the concept of Satya, Satya means that which never changes and that which remains as it is all the time. That's the only thing that's true. So nothing actually can fall into the category of truth. Nothing in the world. The truth is always out of this world. From a very basic thing, you look at news and views, you cannot tell what's true, right? CNN will say something and BBC will say something and Fox will say something else. Nobody knows what's true. When we look at our perceptions or our views, nobody knows what's true. We're all here for AtmaBodha. We're all learning AtmaBodha. But when we leave from this class, everybody will have a different view of what happened in class, right? Some people will say certain points, some people won't say certain points. So our views are so different. So news is different, views is different, our perceptions are also different. What color is this? To you, what color is it? Yellow. Is it yellow to a baby, a newborn baby? No, because they can only see black and white. Is it yellow to a dog? No, because they can see only certain colors, like grayish tones. Is it yellow to a snake? No, because a snake can only see ultraviolet. Now, what makes you and I think that adult human perception is the only truth? What makes us think that? Who said that this is yellow and this is orange? Just because adult human perception thinks it's yellow or thinks it's orange doesn't mean that it's really orange. Because it's not orange for everybody. The truth is also that which is common to everybody. So when we look at the world, what is the Satya there? It is so flimsy. Every single thing keeps changing. Our relationships keep changing. We may have stayed with people for so many years, but eventually you find out something completely different. So there is no stability in this world. It is only an apparent illusion that exists on Brahma, any which way you analyze it. And it will continue to appear so real until and unless we realize the reality upon which it rests. Then the next shloka that we saw was Upadane Akhila Dhare Jaganti Parameshwari, which means that Brahman is the Upadana Karanam, the material cause, and the Nimitta Karanam, the efficient cause, and it's like water. And the world Not a person, but worlds are like bubbles. They're created, sustained, and destroyed in water. Which means the bubbles or these worlds are just appearances. Because show me the bubble without water. Can you show? No. So the bubble is actually water. So all these worlds are just rising and dissolving in the substratum, Brahman. Just like bubbles are rising and dissolving in water. So then last time I was here, I said, imagine if whole creations are like bubbles, what is our sorrows then? They're like little droplets. They're like little droplets. When the entire creation is like bubbles, why our problems are so small compared to that? So samsara is just apparent. We're going to say, but we really feel it. We feel it, but it's our choice as to how much we feel. Pain, joy will happen, but that suffering is your choice. How much you identify is how much you feel it. How much you disidentify is how much less you will feel it. So now today we start on the same line of thought of the world being just an apparent existence. And today we start from shloka number 9. Satchidatmanyanusyute
Satchidatmanyanusyute
Nitye Vishnau Prakalpitaha
Nitye Vishnau Prakalpitaha
Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha
Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha
Hatake Katakadivat
Hatake Katakadivat
Satchidat together Satchidatmanyanusyute Nitye Vishnau Prakalpitaha Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha Hatake Katakadivat. So it says here, Satchid Atmani means in that self whose nature is Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. In that self which is Anusyute. Anusyute means that which is in and through everything. Anusyute, in and through everything. Nitye, in that self which is eternal. Vishnu. Vishnu means pervasive, in that which is all pervasive. Prakalpitaha, in that something is projected. Vyaktayaha, manifested. What is it? Vividhaha sarvaha, many different things, manifold things. Just like Hatake. Hatake means out of gold. Katakadivat, just like bracelets and other things are projected out of gold. So what does this mean? So first, Sat, remember AtmaBodha, this is why AtmaBodha is primary to AtmaBodha. Sat means Kalatraye api tishtati iti Sat. As I said, that which remains the same as is in 3 periods of time is Sat. Chit means Jnana Swarupa, that consciousness. Ananda Sukha Swarupa, that bliss. That fullness, that bliss which has no gradation. When we say Ananda, it's not Sukha like worldly Sukha. Worldly Sukha has gradation. Sometimes you feel happy, your happiness is this level. Sometimes it's this level. Sometimes it's this level. Right? Depend on who we're around or the environment or what we're experiencing. This Ananda is a whole one. There's no fluctuation. There's no gradation. So when we say Ananda, that's what it means. It's that bliss which is out of our minds. It is our nature. So in that, Anusyute, there are 3 limitations. And Atma is beyond all 3 limitations. There's a space limitation, a time limitation, and an object limitation. When we say anusyuta, it means that Atma is beyond any object limitation. Why? Something that is in this bag is not in this crystal. This crystal is not in this. And this bag is not in this crystal. But that Atma as Satchitananda is in everything. So therefore it's not limited by any object. Atma is in this mic, it's in this crystal, it's in this, it's in this, it's in this, it's everywhere. It's not limited by any object. When we say Nitya, Atma is not limited by any time. Nitya means eternal, so Atma is always there, all the time. And when we say Vishnu, Vishnu means all-pervading. So Atma is everywhere in space. Actually, everywhere is in Atma. So by this, we're saying that Atma doesn't have any limitation of time, of object, of space. Then, the way that things are projected in Atma is the way that we see things, different things made out of gold. You know, in daily life, when we say meltdown, it's like a negative connotation, right? I'm having a meltdown. I don't know what to do. I'm going crazy. But in Vedanta, when we say meltdown, it's actually a good thing. Because you take all the names and forms and you melt them down and their substratum is common. Just like when you take gold bracelet, gold bangle, gold necklace, gold ring, and you melt them all down, what you get is gold. Gold alone is, isn't it? But that ring is not in the bracelet. The bracelet is not in the earring. The earring is not in the watch. But what is always there is gold. Gold eva satya. Gold alone is. In the same way, if we were to melt everything down, everything that we can think of, we can see, everything we experience, if we were to melt everything down, it would just come into existence. Existence alone is. So all these names and forms are a projection on Atma. They do have a function, not that they don't have a function. It has a function. A bracelet is meant to be worn here. A ring is meant to be worn here. Earrings are meant to be worn here. They have a function, but we must not forget their fundamental nature. It is gold alone. It's like, I don't know if I told you the story about kids. There was a mom and dad and they went to a mela. They went to a mela and the kids were so thrilled because finally mommy and daddy took us to a mela. And so you know what happens in the mela? There's so much to do. There's so much food. There's so much craziness going on. And so the kids are super, super excited. They want to try everything. So the father bought the kids some biscuits. And they sat down by the ground and they started eating the biscuits. But the brother and sister started fighting. Why? Because the sister got the monkey biscuit, but the brother wanted the monkey biscuit. And the brother got the dog biscuit, and he wanted the monkey biscuit. And he was just fighting. He said, I want the monkey biscuit, I want the monkey biscuit. And the father said, you know, son, all you have to do is put the biscuit in your mouth. And he told his daughter, put the biscuit in the mouth. And he asked the daughter, what does it taste like? And the daughter said, it's very sweet. And he asked the son, what does that taste like? He said, it's very, very sweet. He said, that's what it is. You're not eating the animal, you're eating the sweetness. Pay attention to the sweetness and not the name and form of the animal. This is where we get stuck in the world. In the world, there's so many different names and forms. But we get stuck in focusing on the names and forms. Names and forms are only words. Actually, the world is only words. You think about a baby. When a baby comes, who tells them what to name what? They have no idea. They come to the world and they see all of these things. We're the ones who tell them table, 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 chair, 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 bowl, bowl. We're the ones who tell them all these things. But actually, they don't know. So all these names are created by us. All these forms are because of our forms of thought. The actual is the substratum, is formless. So Atma is that formless substratum. So when we look in the world, why we have so many issues? Because we're paying too much attention on the form and not on the formless. Whenever we pay too much attention on the form, we lose out on what's really important. Now this can also be applicable at a daily level in the sense that the subtler my attention goes to, the deeper I am thinking. For example, what is subtler, the gross body or the subtle body? Subtle body, right? So if I want to really get to the bottom of things, go to the subtler layer. So first, if we think about koshas, we have the food sheet. What's the subtler layer? Air sheet, vital air, pranamaya. Then manomaya, then vijnanamaya. When I have to make a decision in life, always go by the subtlest layer. Always go by if I have to decide between body and mind, where should I go with? Mind. If I have to decide between mind and intellect, where should I go with? There you go. So keep going to that which is subtlest. This is how we can apply this into our daily life. For a realized person, of course, it's not that they don't see forms. They see forms, they see names, but their vision penetrates that. So for us, we have to start going to the subtler layers of things. And then things don't bother us as much. Things don't disturb us as much. So here in this shloka, what we have to really take away is that everything is just names and forms superimposed on that substratum. In Chandogya Upanishad, what they say is Vacharambhanam Vikaro Namadheya. Means it's just a movement of tongue. Because who created names? We did. Who created God's name? We also did that. We also did that. Because God is nameless. So all of these are just appearances. It is like, how do we know that we are that formless self? How does the wave know that it's water? All the wave has to do is wave. Has to wave, it's say, by wave, and it know that it's water. The same way we have to know that actually beneath us is formless. So don't get lost by these names and forms. Go deep into the substratum, which is formless. The trouble is formless sometimes is boring. If I tell you to go watch a movie, but watch the screen and don't watch the movie, nobody will want to do that, right? So it takes a subtle mind to really engage in this. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's why I told you in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 12. No? Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, should I meditate on the form or on the formless? And what is Lord Krishna's answer? In a nutshell, formless but via form. Formless, go there, but via form.
To concentrate.
Yeah, to concentrate. So our nature is formless. Keep focusing on the subtler aspects of this. Continuing now to the next one. Yathakasho hrishikeshaha
Yathakasho hrishikeshaha
Nanopadhigato vibhuhu
Nanopadhigato vibhuhu
Tadbhedat bhinnavad bhati
Tadvedat
तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्
तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्
यथाकाशो हृषीकेशः नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद् भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. So in Shloka 9, Atma is formless, and it's upon which names and forms are projected, just like gold and which bracelets, rings, and etc. are projected. In Shloka number 10, Atma is unbreakable, just like space is unbreakable. Yatha Akasha, just like space, Rishikesha. Rishikesha means here Atma. How? Rishika Isha. Rishika Isha means senses. Isha means Lord of the senses, Lord of Indriyas. Nana Upadi Gataha Vibhuhu. Because of various upadis or conditionings, Tat Bhedat Bhinnavad Bhati. It appears to be different. Tat Bhedat, because of their differences, Bhinnavad Bhati. It appears to be different. Tannashe, when these conditionings are destroyed, Kevalo Bhaved. They just become one. So many things in the shloka. Now think about space, okay? Think about space. In the sky, in the world, there's so much space all over. Who decides that this is American space, and that's Canadian space, and that's Asian space? Who decides that? Did space ever decide that? Who put those divisions there? It's a man-made thing, right? It's a man-made thing. Is there such a thing as this is Caribbean sun, this is American sun, this is Asian sun? You can't divide that. Or even waters. Who's dividing those? Bhagavan it's just water. But who's putting those dividers? It's a man-made thing. So space or Akasha is that which is absolutely indivisible. But because of conditionings, it feels like it's divisible, right? So as I said in this shloka, Rishika Isha. Rishikesha means Lord of Indriyas, Lord of both Antar and Bahish Indriyas. Antar Indriyas, Antakarana, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. Bahish Indriyas are the faculty of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touch, Shrotra, Chakshu, and Sparsha, etc. What happens is there's something called Upadi. So this is why I wanted this crystal and this flower today. Have you heard of this word Upadi? Yes? No? How many have heard? Heard, okay. So Upadi is a technical term in Vedanta. It means Upasamipe Stitva